Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Jasmine Sagod Macarag, BS Criminology 3, Block 3. This is my COA 2 or Course Outcome Assessment 2 in Juvenile Delinquency and Juvenile Justice System. The lesson that I choose to discuss in midterm period was the lesson 3, Paternity and Filiation and Adaptation. In this lesson, we'll tackle about the difference between paternity and filiations and adaptation, wherein the paternity in the civil status relationship of the father to the child, and the filiations is the civil status or relationship of the child to the father. A legitimate child is one conceived or born during the parents' marriage, or an illegal child who has given the rights of the illegitimate child, provide the following are true. The following conditions must be met: the child was conceived and born outside of marriage, or the parents were not barred from marrying each other at the time of the child's conception, and there was a subsequent valid marriage between the parents. If a marriage is voidable but later annulled, the legitimation remains legal. Since a voidable marriage is lawful until it's annulled, only the following reason may be used to dispute a child legitimacy. 1. That is a physically impossible for the husband to have sexual intercourse with his wife within the first 120 days of the 300 days which immediately preceded the birth of child, because the impotency of the husband and the fact that the husband and wife were living separately, and the serious illness of the husband. Number 2 is that is the proof that for biological or other scientific reason the child could not have been that of the husband. Number 3 is that in case of children conceived through artificial insemination, the writing authorization or ratification of either parents was obtained through mistake, fraud, violence, intimidation, or undue influence. Illegitimate child, one who was conceived and born outside a valid marriage. Adoption is defined as the process of making a child, whether related or not related to the adopter, possesses in general the rights according to a legitimate child. The qualification and effects. Parental authority. Parental authority refers to the rights and duties of the parents towards their children from the moment they are born until they each at the age of 18. Parents make decisions that influence their children's well-being when exercising parental controls. For example, in adoption, since is valid adaptation or legal process, the child will considering a legitimate child, where when it is one of the process but the adaptation was died. In most cases, it will not get heirs, but if it is already processed in court with documentation, it will considered as a legitimate child. I learned that this topic is very important because it discusses the rights of every child to know that they should be sustained by their parents or participation of heirs. As I gain an information about this topic, I can apply this through giving or sharing the information to others, especially and other chosen profession. We need this because we should know the rights of every person, particularly the child, so that when someone asks me, I will know what to do in order to help that person acquired knowledge or proper information it wants to know for me. It is considered as a legitimate child when the parents will acknowledge you as their child. But if they don't process the papers or requirements, you are considered to be illegitimate. A legitimate child is a one that illegitimate but given a rights as a legitimate child with the following requisite. If your parents doesn't disqualify impediments to marry each other, but for example, I am illegitimate and my mother is words and they are not allowed to marry, I will not be considered as illegitimate. In case of annulment, if it is approved, you are still considered as illegitimate child. This topic is important because it discusses the rights of every child to know what they should be sustained by their parents or participation of years. A broken family is very big problem in family because I feel that I feel that I feel that every family is a complete while the other family is stay broken like me. So this is very important to knowing that your your parents need to sustain you monthly. And this is my COA 2 in juvenile delinquency and juvenile justice. This is my COA 2 in juvenile delinquency in juvenile justice system. Thank you po.